Okay, this right here?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, couldn't see. Alright, it's fine.
Worst comes worse, I do it again.
And then we literally just...
Did it work?
Mostly. Didn't really... No, for some reason it didn't go on very heavy. Which clear coat did you grab though? Okay, the Tamiya?
Yeah.
Well, I needed it to be a little bit wetter, but that's okay. It still sort of worked right there. But I was going for a more cakey area.
Oh, let me try it on.
Try it on yours, yep. So get like a good wet.
Hand me one of the clippy things.
Yep, and just do it again. Just hold the opposite side. Get dirty for your craft, man.
Okay, we'll do it on this side here.
Yeah, pick an edge that pick an edge or a corner or something you want all grind up. I'll get some more dust for you. I'm good like that. Now, once again, guys, this is just how I'm doing it. This isn't 1000% the only way to do this. It's just an interesting way to do it.
Okay, this time I made sure to go a little bit heavier.
Oh, sure, you did it right for you. All right. I got you a nice little pile here.
All right.
So you got your wet edge that you're going to do it, and just give it a quick tap right in the dirt. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. That is going to be a nasty, nasty edge. Now we can knock off some of that excess. If you want to, go ahead and hit that with a blow dryer, just to go ahead and finish it off.
Okay.
I have a phone number coming. I don't know what this Kansas number is that keeps calling me every day.
Just push the button.
Flip it up. And my screen's going to be filthy. Alright, so just a little bit of drawing, and it looks fine. But it doesn't matter, because if nothing else, we're covering that up anyways.
Cool stuff.
Okay, so the only thing that sucks about that is you're going to have to cover that whole edge with toothpaste. But it is what it is. I mean, you could clear coat it again right now, now that I think about it, and that will definitely set it. It'll darken a little bit.
I think that'll be fine.
So, because, I mean, if we applied toothpaste right now, it might take some of it away. So if you want to, go ahead and just right back over that. Funny thing, okay, so that must be a gloss, because look at the inside, it's all glossy again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I had more matte, we would do it that way.
Okay,
So.
should I put some on top of this as well, or?
Yeah, go ahead and cover both of it. I mean, I'm not worried about
Or should I just coat the entire thing?
Well, the next thing, no, just do the part that you got to cut, because the rest of it's already clear coated. So, just go ahead and just protect that edge.
And this, or?
I don't really need to there, because that's sitting super glued. It's not really loose.
Okay, gotcha.
So, once again, we're both experimenting and going with what I know works. Same time. It's done. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and continue on. Crap, I dirtied my Q-tip. Or my toothpick. Not Q-tip. It's toothpick. So I've actually done a lot of crapping up on here. I did a lot of damage to it already, by accident, so to speak. So any edges that I want to keep silver, I'm going to do now. So just squeeze out a little bit of toothpaste. I'm going to show him how to do this when he gets back in here. He's just protecting that edge.
There we go. Hit it with the dryer too?
Hit it with the dryer. Every time you come back in, I want you to use that dryer. Alright, so now that you got that done, now what I'm doing here is I'll showing them the basics of the toothpaste and toothpick. So super simple, get your little scoop of toothpaste on the end of your ear end, and you just want to glob it wherever it is you want to have silver exposed later. So you kind of have to plan ahead a little bit. Like say where I've got this whole area, I don't want that being covered up again by paint. So I'm going to cover this whole corner.
Okay.
And remember, you're using it like a liquid mask. So wherever the edge of the toothpaste is, that's where your paint's going to stop. So, I mean, it's not hard. It's just, you know, kind of think about where damage would be. And remember that we've still got a whole other layer we're going to do after this.
Scoop out some toothpaste.
Scoop out a little bit, and then just kind of use the toothpick to apply it either in large globs to protect a big area, or a little bit where you just want some chipping. Like, see, I'm just kind of doing this corner just a little.
Yeah, so.
Or like I did here, where I just kind of bloop, bloop, you know.
And the thing to remember with chipping is that it's going to be primarily on the edges, right?
It can be in the edges, it could be a glob right in the middle, like something dinged it. You know, so, but remember, this isn't the final repass. This is just where you want silver to show through. Because we're still going to do a quick blast of rust colored. So we've done some, like, practical applications of rust. Like, there's really some rust hanging out. But then we're going to do just a couple quick bursts of rust colored area. And then we'll mask again. And then go from there.
Gotcha.
Sitting here looking for the toothpaste. And of course, you could always just glob it out onto a thing and do it that way. You can handle the thing. You don't have to keep it on the clip. Okay, so I'm going to hit a few of these areas. Like anything that's going to be scraped all the way down to the bare metal, that's what you're kind of going for.
Gotcha.
Because obviously we're going to have a top coat of color on top of these. And it can be random, because damage is usually random, but you also think about where stuff will happen. Like these, the edges of the puzzle pieces where they would interlock, those are obviously going to see more damage. And as you stated, the corners of things, edges of things are going to, see, like you can just do a quick little ding like that, and you're good. I mean, it doesn't have to be super thick, it's doing its job. And then if you need to fine tune it, of course you can do that. So like here I can do a few little dabs. Give a little random damaged area. And see like where we had all, like where we spread a lot of that rust. You can of course put a couple spots there. But if we're going to cover it with rust colored paint anyways. And yeah, toothpaste is really sticky, guys. It stretches, it sticks. So it's never going to be perfect. I mean, you could try to add a little bit of water. Make it a little bit liquidy if you want, get a little more control over it, maybe, or it might get more out of control, but I guess it just depends on what it is you want to accomplish.
And while you said liquid mask, and that is a thing.
Yes.
And I have actually used that before, and the consistency is pretty much identical to this.
I've seen liquid mask, it seems almost like Elmer's glue to a degree.
That sounds about right.
I've seen people try to use Elmer's glue and then use a water solution to remove it, which is fine. But I have not been able to find liquid mask anywhere.
Last time I used it was back in college, which is a depressingly long time ago.
But like even because they use it for doing nails and nail salons and stuff, they use it for fancy nail jobs. I can't find it in beauty stores. Now, Mr. Tool, Mr. Hobby, and I believe even Tamiya do make it. It comes in a little either a tube or an applicator jar. Like you would have for other paints and stuff like that. I have seen that, but I've never seen it in stock anywhere.
The stuff I used, I got at like a Hobby Lobby back in the day, and I used it on. It was actually a Zoids custom.
Nice.
I had taken the chest off of Sideways from Transformers Cybertron, and put it on the head of a Command Wolf. And so I used the liquid mask.
I trust that right on my chest.
I used the liquid mask to cover up the what was going to basically become the eyes. Basically, there was these orange transparent parts. I used the liquid mask to cover those up, and it did a fairly decent job.
See, there's one key to what we're doing right now, and that's the next layer. Because the next layer is going to be like the slightly heavier rust, which means we're going to be painting over this, obviously, and then we're going to be masking over what we just did to kind of expand it, or even we could have some extra little spots of just rust. See what I'm saying? So like, see how you have like a whole edge there? Like I kind of screwed this edge up with the super glue. So I've kind of stopped it right there. So I'm going to paint that rust right up to that edge, and then I'm going to mask a little bit inward. See what I'm saying? So where you'll have like your bare metal, then you'll have a little bit of rust, and then you can have your little holes that are rusty.
How's that looking?
Looking pretty good. This little squidge right here is a little bit much, but it's okay. I mean, you're doing your own thing. It's fine. I would say do a couple little light dings in areas, and then maybe along where the pieces connect.
Okie dokie.
Because those would be all scraped up, like I've done. I mean, if nothing else, you can see the ones I've done to get an idea. And that's how I got the silver and then the rusty edge. So that's doing the multi-pass and then going back over it again with some more masking to get that extra edge that backs up just a little bit. Now, we might not do a primer coat. We'll see. We'll primer coat, you know. So you got to think that a real thing is going to be bare metal. Then if it's getting rusty, it's where the metal is bare. And then you'll have little like areas that are missing the top coat of paint, but they'll have the primer color underneath, and you'll see that. And things can be uniform. You just kind of want to avoid a shape that looks like it's on purpose, you know?
Gotcha.
And some people were saying that some of my masking was a little too round. I'm like, well, it kind of depends on what hit it, you know? Like you can, if you stretch it out a little bit, you can get more of a streak or a cut. That's where it comes down to being able to handle the thing. So you can see how I did it on the inside there.
Oh, okay. I see now.
And if I want a big area that's still all exposed metal, I can do that too. Just like that. It'll be fine. I think that's pretty good. I don't think I have to do too much more. The next layers are where we're really going to get more of the detail work. So,
okay. How's that?
It's pretty good. I would do a couple of little, like right here, just ding ding.
Okay.
Just so you have some metal chips exposed.
So right here.
Yeah, just not even that much. Just literally like a little bit on the end and just go dink, dink. So get here. See, the hard part is getting it near the end. I took all of it. I didn't want all of it. Just like that little bit right there. Just like a dink. Like that. That'll come off, surprisingly. Like you'd think it's like it's not enough to do the job, but it will. For sure.
Do a little bit more
and
on the edges and then...
Yeah, wherever you want to do it. And then what we'll do is we'll step outside with a couple of the colors of the rust. And we'll just do a couple quick spray jobs. Like just... It doesn't even have to be complete coverage. Because we do want some metal that might still be exposed. And if we've got an area that like has a little bit of spray edge, that works fine because that'll look like chipping to some degree. So we're going to go step outside again and we'll be right back. I wish I could film the painting part, but that's not easy. We don't have enough cameras. Alright guys, so there we go with a little bit of red brown and some NATO brown in there. Mine's a little bit worse off than his. Actually, I like yours a little bit better. Yours is a bit more purposeful than mine. But it's still pretty good one way or the other. Now what we should do here, we could clear coat it right now, but I think that might be a little too sealed over the toothpaste.
Okay. So
we'll skip that part. So basically from here on out, we're going to layer this bad boy.
All right then.
So what it's going to be is basically adding more toothpaste a little bit over the areas that you've already done.
Okay.
And then also adding it to a couple new areas. So before we were exposing silver. So now you want to expose some rust areas. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Now it's kind of hard, like we were talking about before we rolled the camera, to wrap your mind around multi-layered things is a little bit difficult. Now this is where I like to use the sharper end of the toothpick. Sharp being kind of an operative term there, because you can get it slightly more purposeful. So let me show you what I'm going to do first. Once again, this is kind of a tutorial, guys. I'm expounding on his knowledge. So I've got this whole big area right here, right? Which I didn't even cover 100%. So what I want to do is just go right along that edge of the previous. Because obviously you don't have to cover the area you've just covered. You're just expanding on that area.
So we don't need to go over the entire thing, just
adding
like the edges to kind of spread it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're expanding the chip. Think of it as a single chip that's gone through multiple layers of paint.
Okay, I think I got it.
Does that make sense? You got to think dimensionally.
Yeah, it's actually reminds me a little bit of how you have to think when you're doing oil painting, because you have to work with like your big colors, and then you start mixing or adding things on top to get your details.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the way you would do this. And of course, for like an area where you want to show off a bit more of that rust, you want a bigger area. And it can be totally new. It doesn't even have to be the previous layer. See how I'm doing it in some new spots?
Gotcha.
So just get after it.
Yeah.
And this is one way you can do it, so you don't have a glob. Like stretch it out a little bit and you can get more finite control. So, like I want to have a little bit more of this rusty part along this ridge. And yeah, then those colors were nice. I kind of dug that. It's a little harder on such a small application.
Mm-hmm.
But we did do a little bit of soft, like just like a bare press, so it actually would splurt a little bit more. That worked out kind of nice.
Excited to see what this is going to look like when it's all done.
It's going to look like ass. You're going to be so depressed.
Aw.
I'm just kidding. It might look good. I can make no promises. And see like where I've got some of these other chips along these edges, just kind of cover it. So like the whole edge got scraped, but at some point like it didn't get it's got all the way down to the bottom. As I was saying before, when you're out of the room, this isn't the only way to do this. It's just a way to do it. And it's been successful so far. Now the thing is, we're working with like an inanimate object, something that's not moving. It's just a base. If you have something that needs to move, like it's a Gundam or something like that, you're going to have more purposeful areas of damage.
Imagine you also have to be a lot more fine controlled.
Yeah, so that's where you could get something a little bit sharper and use it like that. But there's also, in this case, what we're going to do here in a second, which actually this dust here might actually be of some use. Not just that it's a rust color, but it works well for flaking. So we're going to try the salt technique. It hasn't worked 100% for me in the past, but it has worked enough to be effective in this case. And there goes that AC unit again. Because they like to interrupt. So I stopped doing live streams in the living room. Like I used to do my live stream builds sitting over there at the coffee table or at the breakfast table. But because it's right next to the AC unit, it was always so loud. Okay. You see like all through this edge right in here. You can cram it in. So you got to kind of imagine the story of, okay, how did this get hurt? What is it just sitting here? Has stuff been dropped on it? And considering if you want to have like a big area exposed, obviously you want to get a big blob, like I tried to do just now. I kind of screwed that up, but it's all good. Okay, so I need to add some more through here. And of course, there's always weathering it after the fact. So this is the under layers of weathering. We can totally still add top layering. So all of this is just to have the effect that it's rusting from the inside out like things normally would do. Which I think is another thing some people have a problem with wrapping their head around, is that that's what you're doing. You're building it up from the inside out. I think that is definitely something that this kind of layering doesn't register with people. I didn't need that much, but it's all good. Okay. So the other thing I'm doing is I'm doing like a wider area where I'm going to apply salt, so that the toothpaste is covering that area and then the salt will take care of the edges. Does that make sense?
I think so.
I'll show you what I mean.
I'm a little worried about it. I feel like I'm taking off some of the toothpaste.
Oh, don't worry about it, because you're applying more toothpaste.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what does it matter if you move it a little? Okay, so So let's just glob this guy in here. It's fine if it's a lot. It's going to come off later.
Ah! Just flipped it onto the paper towel.
Yeah, you don't do that. How dare you?
I'm ruining everything.
How dare you? Okay.
Come into your place and ruin things.
Ruining the thing you're working on. How dare you? Okay. So I really want to get some of this into crevices. Because I want those crevices to not be all perfect.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that a little bit too with little holes in the back.
Yeah, because anywhere you have that hole, you got to think water's been running through that. But I didn't actually leave any of those exposed from earlier. Now, mind you, I haven't tried it with the base coat of rust paint. I've only applied the actual rust to the base. It's getting all sticky on you.
Yeah, it was toothpaste.
Yeah, it does get very sticky with toothpaste. It's just something you get used to at this point.
I'm just super glad I'm wearing gloves.
That's why I have them. Okay, so I'm done with what I'm going to apply for toothpaste.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do just a little bit, and then it belongs to the edges.
Yep. Okay, guys, so you gotta pick this up carefully. Where do I not have toothpaste? That's a fair point. So, there we go. So that's mine, all minty fresh, and that's his. Hold it up a little bit better. So you can see the differences there. So, what I would suggest to you, so we want this to look kind of like that is, put a good sized glob on it.
Should I just squeeze some directly in?
I guess you can, but it wouldn't give you much control.
Let's make it so I can actually handle this thing easily.
Okay, so I would put a good sized glob in the middle because we're going to do some salt around the edge. Like a margarita.